African cities are bursting out of its seams. Last year, for the first time, Africa's total population exceeded the 1 billion mark, with 40% of which now lives in urban areas. This is putting a toll on the capacity of African capitals to cope with urbanization.
In 2030, Africa will be half urbanized, which is a normal process all over the world. Urbanization is a process which started at the beginning of the 20th century and which is almost final in Latin America, in Europe, and in Asia and Africa, which is in the full development. Right now, 400 million urban, including 300 million in sub-Saharan Africa and 100 million in North Africa. The problem is that this urbanization is a bit chaotic, as you know, but also offers a lot of challenges. And this is, in fact, the issue of the GDP. The GDP, essentially 3/4 at least of the GDP of Africa, is produced by cities, in cities. So cities are an extremely positive role in economic development. This is what our report highlights.
In November this year, the UN Habitat released a report on the state of African cities. The report indicates that the urban population continues to grow from just under 500 million this year to about 1.2 billion in 2050. This in return has given birth to an increase in informal and non-service urban settlements and slums, as well as traffic congestion due to poor infrastructure. And the question is, can Africa meet its Millennium Development Goals with such challenges?
The growth rate of cities is declining. That is, for instance, in East Africa, where we are, the growth rate of cities is around 4% right now. That is, every year cities are growing by 4%. Before, 20 years ago, it was 5 or 6%. So the annual growth is declining, which is a good sign, which means that it's more manageable. But of course, in absolute terms, it makes cities grow very fast. Like Nairobi is growing at least by 100,000 people per year. So it is still big in absolute numbers, but in terms of percentage, it is slowing down. So that's a good sign.
In East Africa, Kenya remains the fastest growing economy, with its cities feeling the pressures of urbanization. Nairobi, with over 3 million residents, remains the hub of East Africa, with business operations from all major sectors. A big problem faced by the city is its road infrastructure, and being stuck in traffic is something the people of Nairobi have come to know too well. This is one of the reasons why new breath has been breathed into the country's rail network to help decongest the city's roads.
The trains we are running around Nairobi is 4 trains in the morning, 4 trains in the evening to the suburbs of Nairobi. Kikuyu, Makadara, Kahawa, and to Athi River. We have actually increased the capacity. We were running in about 10, 15 wagons a year back. If you go on all the coaches, but these coaches we've increased. We'll continuously increase them to try and meet that demand.
But Nairobi is not the only East African city with an urbanization crisis. Bujumbura, Kampala, Dar es Salaam, and Kigali all have their fair share of problems.
It's more about lack of territorial strategy. Most countries, most governments don't have a territorial strategy. That is a strategy to organize the production or the distribution of people in their territories. They leave it to market forces, informal markets and formal markets forces, without a clear territorial strategy. Like, for instance, the Chinese have. The Chinese have had for 30 years now a very strict, very clear territorial, that is urbanization policy. In Africa, it's very, very exceptional.